All right, Brownies, let's talk about this for a second. The Cleveland Browns, they're doing well. Like, I think everyone was surprised that they beat the 49ers. Even you, Browns fans, you know it. And I think what's happening now is there's been, of course, naturally, it's the same thing every single years with the Browns. And what that is the national media finding reasons not to like them, reasons to put them down, finding bad news, finding all this kind of stuff. But the Browns sit here after a bye, well, a couple weeks. They're 3-2, right? All this stuff is going well, and the national media's got to recognize it when they come out and they beat the Colts this weekend. So that's what we're going to talk about in this video. A couple key players that are coming back, a couple key players that are out for the Indianapolis Colts, and why this is such a critical game as we move forward this regular season for the Cleveland Browns. But before, if you're new to the channel, we are a channel, obviously Lions fans here, and we love teams like the Lions that don't get the national media love that they necessarily deserve because they're not in a large market. Cleveland, we get you. All right, so let's talk about this a little bit. I think I want to share this with everybody. And here is the injury report going out ahead of the game. This is the Friday injury report, and got this at dogsbynature.com. And you have one player that is out. There is no doubt they are out, and that is Sione Takitaki. All right. So Sione Takitaki is out with a hamstring. That is not a huge issue. It's not. And everybody else, like when I'm thinking about this, there is one guy that is a big problem, but another one who's trending toward playing. Harrison Bryant, we get it. It's important. There's some blocking there and stuff like that. Kareem Hunt. Can I talk about Kareem Hunt for a second? Browns fans, I don't know where you're at with this guy. I mean, like, obviously there was the contract dispute, the whole trade me thing a couple years ago. The Browns were like, no. And then he ended up playing. And then it kind of seemed like he was losing a step. Nobody signed him. And then, Chubb goes out and then you re-sign Kareem Hunt. He comes back. He actually looks like he's got a little bit of juice because he didn't have to go through all the off-season work. He had fresh legs and stuff like that. But you have this other dude sitting there in front of him. And it's Jerome Ford. And Kareem Hunt is a good running back. He's a good running back. Here's the problem that I have with Kareem Hunt. If you, depending on the game script, if you are behind, I mean, like things like that, if you don't have the ability to run the ball 30 times and get Ford 18 carries and get Hunt 12 carries and spread it out, then I feel at times like Hunt might demand too much in the running game, like too many carries. I could be wrong. You could feel completely different about this, but I think if I'm the Browns, I'm wanting to give Ford a minimum of 20 touches a game. I want to know exactly what he is. He's shown the ability to bust off big runs. He's shown the ability to make 5-yard runs, 20-yard runs. He's shown the ability to make them 45-yard runs. So I like what he has. I like what he has going on. So the Kareem Hunt injury isn't that big of an issue for me. The ones that are important are Newsome at corner and Deshaun Watson at quarterback. So first, what I want to do is I want to talk about Deshaun Watson. Now, sometimes you can just get a feeling. You just get hooked on a feeling. No, I can't sing. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I hope you didn't have to turn this off because I just impromptu started singing. That's embarrassing. All right. So anyways, I would worry more about Newsome. And, when you look at corner and what you have backing him up, you have Ford, you have Mitchell, you have Emerson Jr. I think it's one of those things where Newsome he's been good this year. He actually is rated as your best corner, but this team is not. I said I was going to talk about Watson, and then I started singing. I completely lost focus, and I started talking about Newsome. What just happened? I'm going to talk about Newsome. Then we'll talk about Watson. Spoiler. All right. And so he's been the best corner, but this defense has been the best defense in the league. I've said it. I said it in a video previously. not because of highly graded corners. They're the best defense in the league, okay, because of that defensive line and the pressure that they're putting on the quarterback and things of that nature and the scheme and their ability to create turnovers. That's why they've been phenomenal. So Newsome is a big loss. Do I think you can withstand it? I do, especially with Gardner Minshew, but you'd like to have him for turnover creation purposes. Now let's talk about Deshaun Watson and let's talk about why I started singing Hooked on a Feeling. And the reason for that is in previous weeks, didn't you just have a feeling and know that Deshaun Watson wasn't going to play? Like it just didn't feel right. And you knew he wasn't going to play. All of a sudden this week, don't you just feel like he's going to play? I really do. I feel like he's going to play. And part of that is because he got in a full practice on Friday. And yes, the coach said, and I understand this. I understand why Stefanski would be like, hey, you know what? We're going to wait and we're going to see what the next 48 hours bring before we make a call on him. Also, hey, Colts, I don't want you to know who our quarterback's going to be. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big deal. So, yes, I think key players are on their way back, and that is more than anything Deshaun Watson. Now, let's look at the Colts injury report. Braden Smith is out. Yeah, there was no pause in your audio. That's very good for you. When you look and you see Zadarius Smith, right, and you see Myles Garrett, and all of a sudden you see their best tackles out, field day. All right. So this is what makes Newsome's possible loss better because it's there. So I told you there's one other thing that I was going to talk about in this video. And so what I want to do right now is I want to share with you the standings and how things are looking in the NFL. And when you look at these standings and you look at the AFC North, there's an argument to be made that while the best team, I mean, right now, the Bengals are 3-3. They're finding a way now. All right. While they might not be as top heavy, this is arguably right now the best division in football. Okay. The AFC East, the Patriots are garbage. The Jets have no offense. The AFC South, it's the haves and then the have nots. The Texans are getting better, but I wouldn't call them like a great team. The AFC West is not what it used to be. It just flat out isn't. Broncos are terrible. This is the deepest division probably in football, but definitely the deepest division in the AFC because the NFC East has a chance at this. But the Browns can go to 4-2 this week. This is very, very important for them to keep track with the Ravens. The Ravens are playing the Lions. Okay, my Lions. So it's a tough game, but it's in Baltimore. So I don't know what that's going to look like. Steelers are going to LA against the Rams. You can maybe make that a loss. And I haven't even looked at who the Bengals are playing this week. But this is one of those games that you just flat out have to win. I mean, you have to win it. You have an interesting schedule coming off of that. All right. So you've already had your bye week. So after you play at Indy, you're going to Seattle. That is a difficult game. Then you're home against the Cardinals. Thank you. But Kyler Murray might be back. Then you're going to Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Denver, the Rams, Jags, Bears. So it's kind of a back and forth. There's a lot of tough games and a lot of very, very winnable games. So I think this is a huge key game for the Browns. Get yourself to 4-2, continue getting healthier and healthier so that you can be ready for that back stretch of the season. You still have 11 games left after this. Like you still have 11 games left after this. There's a ton, and you're going to be holding your breath every single time, but you need to keep pace in this very good AFC North because there's going to be more difficult games. Just face it. When you're the Bills and you're sitting at 4-2, it's different than the Browns at 4-2 because they have more games against poor teams. It's that simple. Same with the Jags at 5-2. So yeah, you're looking for, obviously you want to win the division, but also for keeping yourselves in a good spot for the wild card. 4-2 is a lot better than 3-3, especially with a Colts team that you should beat. All right, hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.